Hello, this is Alex. Today, let's talk about the word 님. 님 means the person who you love. Even if it is unrequired love, you can use it. But Koreans hardly use this word alone in a daily conversation. We usually see this in lyrics or books. But when we call other people, we often add this word after these. Calling others this way is polite, by which you can show much respect to the other person. Okay, let's take a look at two categories. 선생님, 어떤 거 찾으세요? 선생님, 뭘 도와드릴까요? We can call customers or someone who wants to receive service as 선생님. And at the same time, we can call service providers 선생님 as well. We meet many different kinds of service providers, right? 선생님, 저 배가 아파요. 선생님, 여기 민원실이 어디예요? 선생님, 저 통장 만들려고요. 선생님, 서울역으로 가주세요. And in this category, we can call other people this way too, by attaching the word 님 after someone's occupation or position. 기사님, 서울역으로 가주세요. 판사님, 할 말이 있습니다. 사장님, 이거 얼마예요? For instance, if you want to talk to a taxi driver, it would be wise to call them 기사님 instead of 기사, which expresses respect to their job and effort. You pay money for their service, but what takes you to your destination is their effort. And you don't need to make them feel upset using casual or rude ho칭s. Maybe it can make them drive less safely. And we often hear service providers calling their customers like this, the combination of someone's name and the word 님, especially service providers in the hospital, the bank, or the public office, and so on. 이정재님, 처방전 여기 있습니다. 이정재님, 이쪽으로 오세요. 이정재님, 신분증 주세요. Especially in these cases of the category number 1 so far, the other person's age or hierarchical relationships don't matter usually. It is just that we show respect to someone's job, their effort, or their position where they are customers by calling them in a polite way. It is because the other person is a stranger, or it might be partly because we have to be polite and nice to someone as part of our job, or it might be just your nice gesture in consideration of their services. But let's look at another case in this category. It is a little different. Let's just say two grown men are sitting at the bus station. A looks older than B. A suddenly stands up and walks away, and B notices that someone's smartphone is next to him. So B follows A with that phone and asks like this. 선생님, 이거 선생님 폰이에요? So when we call strangers in a polite way, we can use 선생님, which doesn't mean a teacher in this case. In this case, the other person looks older than us and he or she is an adult. So in this example, the other person's age matters. If they look younger than us, we don't call strangers 선생님. Plus, in this example, we can use other 호칭s as well, such as 저기요 or 아저씨. Okay, anyway, in all these examples of the category number 1, we don't know the other person well. Okay, next, category number 2. First of all, we use these 호칭s to call the other person who is older than us. So these 호칭s themselves is polite basically, but I think you hear these sometimes in Korean movies or shows. 형님, 누님. 형님, 어디 가요? 누님, 잘 지냈어요? The word 님 is added after these 호칭s. When we add the word 님 after 누나, we get 누나님, but we just say 누님 to ease its pronunciation. Anyway, they have the same meaning, but these can show more respect to the other person. For example, if you call the other guy 형님, this guy is older than you and you two are close to each other, then 형님 means the same with 형, but it can show more respect to that guy. These are similar examples. 어머님, 아버님, 할머님, 할아버님. And we use the following 호칭s a lot. The word 님 is attached after someone's occupation or position. Actually, we can add their name before these 호칭s as well. And as you can see, usually two people belong in one organization or a group, but not all the time. And the person using this word 님 is in a relatively lower position than the other person in the organization or in the group. 선생님, 안녕하세요. 목사님, 어디 가세요? 사장님, 저 퇴근하겠습니다. 팀장님, 보고서 여기 있습니다. In these cases, if we delete the word 님, it means that they call the other person in a casual way, or sometimes it can mean that they talk down to the other person. This can easily make the other person feel upset or angry, right? But then there are definitely some exceptions like these in the category number 2. Let's take a look at the first one. Here are two team leaders, Kim and Park. Kim is older than Park. Then Kim can call Park without the word 님. 박 팀장, 좋은 아침이야. 김 팀장님, 안녕하세요. By the way, we can see that if we use a polite 호칭, it is followed by the sentence using a polite ending too. This is not always the case, but usually it is. As we see this, we can see that the other person's age is important in interpersonal relationships in Korea, whichever position they are in at work. This is an interesting exception. Some Koreans enjoy using the word 님 when calling others, even if the other person is younger than themselves, or even if the other person is in a lower position than themselves. Let's take a look at the next example. 이 대리님, 이것 좀 처리해 주세요. 네. 팀장 is higher than 대리 at work. So in this case, usually team leaders, 팀장 can call their subordinate without the word 님 like this. 이 대리. But this team leader is showing respect to 이 대리, adding the word 님. The first reason to do this is that this team leader wants to treat 이 대리 in a polite way, and there could be some secondary reasons like this. 이 대리 is one of the team leader's subordinates, but 이 대리 is older than the team leader. Or 이 대리 is younger than this team leader, and the team leader just wants to keep his distance from 이 대리. Because, for example, he doesn't want to get closer to any subordinate personally at work. Or it might be because Lee is a sort of difficult person to this team leader for some reason, and so on. So today I gave you many examples related to the word 님, but you don't need to memorize them all. What you have to remember is the followings. If they attach the word 님 when calling others, it is one of the 호칭s, and it is to call them in a polite way with respect. If they call the other person adding the word 님, usually the other person is an adult, but not all the time. 선생님 doesn't always mean teachers. It can be used as a polite 호칭 when you call strangers who look older than you and who are adults. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.